All right, everyone. It is Monday. So you know what that means. We are back with another episode of Nerdcamp Sports. I hope everyone's Monday was going good so far and had a good day. How you feeling today, my brother?
Man, feeling great. Excited football is back. Last Thursday, we got an opportunity to watch some preseason football. So we're getting back to normalcy. But other than that, man, just excited. Just excited, man, to talk tonight.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And even though NFL's on the horizon, let's start with the NBA tonight.
Yeah, let's start with the NBA.
Paul George and Joel Embiid, dynamic duo of Philly. Both of those gentlemen are missing camp. What are your thoughts on that?
Wow. Well, I just want to say this.
Uh huh.
First, I want to preface it by saying that Joel Embiid is missing um, mini camp and potentially probably.
Oh, okay. Guess I don't know what happened. But we're gonna get him back in here. I don't know why I did that. Have to love technology. Right back. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. That was
Yeah,
weird.
it just cut off.
I might have hit something because I moved something. I might have hit something on the pad on the computer. Okay,
Oh
so
no, it's all good.
you were saying that they missed camp or they were missing what?
Yeah, it's potential that Joel Embiid might not only just miss camp, but he might miss some regular season games going into the 2025-2026 season. And I'm gonna be quite honest with you, this is not a good look. I normally don't call for a person to retire, but I honestly believe that'll be Joel Embiid's best interest to retire, at least on a medical retirement, simply because this is the same injury he had for the past few years, and now it's starting to affect him in this season. And this season haven't even started. I don't know how much basketball activity he's going through or have went through the season. I mean, during the off season, but this is not good because I remember during the Olympics last year, he pretty much had the same situation happen where he was dealing with like inflammation and he had to do a cleanup on his knee, and it was really bad after the Olympics, and then he wasn't able to make it in the regular season that many games. I think he played a total of like 30 something games, um, and that's not good. So I'm thinking maybe this is the beginning of the end for Joel Embiid. But as far as Paul George, I'm not sure why he's missing the regular season. I mean, the training camp. I know during the regular season he doesn't really perform like he normally have in the past few years. Um, So we'll see what Philadelphia does. But as far as the direction for Philly, if I'm Philadelphia, I'm moving on from these guys. They got a great young core. I love VJ Edgecombe. Um, I love what they got with their backcourt with Jarrett McCain, Tyrese Maxey. I love the draft picks that they picked up. So
Right.
I think they can pretty much just start all over and go the route of just rebuilding, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, they I think for Joel Embiid, if I'm the 76ers, this is gonna sound crazy, but I would trade him. If he's not going to retire. And I know that may be easier said than done, but at the end of the day, he's hurting you.
Right.
And Joel Embiid needs to be in a situation where he's not the top guy, where
Yeah.
he's not the main guy. He needs a situation where he can be the second or maybe even third option, so that if he goes down, you're not like, oh, well, now what? Or oh, this is what are we going to do about this?
Yeah.
Um, so so I think for the Sixers on his behalf, if he's not going to play, they need to trade him. Um, finding a trade partner could be difficult because of his injury history. Um, and his inability to stay healthy, especially in back-to-back situations. So I think them trading him would be ideal if he's not going to retire or trying to.
Right.
Now, if they cannot trade Joel Embiid, right? If they cannot, and you're going to be stuck with him, you got to let the pieces fall where they may. You just going to have to take it as it is. We understand that Philly's supposed to be, has for years supposed to be this team that was able to get over the hump and was able to, or they wanted to get over the hump and just make the conference finals. And they've regressed greatly since, they had the opportunity when you had even Jimmy Butler on the team and, and things of that nature. But in terms of Paul George, I don't know what the story is. I don't know what the extent of his injury is at the moment. But you signed him for I think 4 years. I don't remember the money offhand, but you signed him for a lot of money, hoping to get the best of him. And he hasn't proven in one season that he can even stay healthy. He's another one. His health is questionable, not as questionable as Embiid's, but it's still questionable.
It's getting there.
Paul George?
Yeah.
I would say him and Embiid are very equal when it comes to questionableness and injury. I would.
The only reason I would give Paul George a little more due than I would give Embiid is, that leg break was crazy. Like in an exhibition, that leg break was crazy. And we know he ain't been the same since. Embiid came into the league missing his whole, the whole first season, I believe, right? Did he miss his whole first? He missed his whole rookie season, no?
Yeah, he did.
So
that's the process.
And he just really has not been he's really hasn't been able to get through that and be the dominant player that we know he can be. So, but I agree with you, Raj. They got to move on from these guys because what's going to happen is if you don't move on or you can't fix this, the last key piece to your future, which is Tyrese Maxey, he's going to want to take an exit. And, this guy went from scoring 8 or 9 points to now 27 points a game, and definitely a good player, a lot of energy, very fast, very quick. Definitely has the potential to be a leader, but as it goes with Joel Embiid and Paul George, if Philly's going to be stuck with this ship this season, I can tell you that much. And this ship, as presently constructed, without those guys' ability to stay healthy, you're looking at another disappointing year and Nick Nurse being fired potentially at the end of the season.
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly.
What are your thoughts, R&B?
Man, I 100% agree with everything you said. He probably gonna end up getting fired. Like that's just ain't no way around it. It's a shitty situation. It's a very shitty situation. Like I don't really have much on it, to be honest with you. It's just like that shit. We've been following that shit for the longest, and like it's just they just got to turn the keys over to Tyrese Maxey. It is what it is. It's time to turn the keys over to Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah,
You still got an old boy who I can't think his name, who liked to paint his fingernails.
Jared
You know what
McCain.
I'm saying? He seems to be an up and coming, possible star. I think he was averaging about 20 before he went down with the injury this past season during his rookie year. So that's a bright spot, you know what I'm saying? Dual threat backcourt, scoring backcourt, see what you can build around it. But it's time to do some renovations. Maybe not tear the whole thing down, but it's definitely time to do some renovations. It's getting real outdated in there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep.
So I want to stick with the NBA. I want to take a moment to talk about Mr. Luka Doncic. Now we know Luka just signed a okay. We know Luka just signed a 3-year, $156 million extension. I read that in 2028 he could sign for like $400 million. I read that right before we came on.
Yeah.
And I've also read a few reports that they have officially left the LeBron train in terms of building around him. Excuse me, and they're now on the Luka train. Now, the question that R&B had for the show today was, can Luka win a title in the next 3 years? And R&B, I would like you to take it first since it was your question.
So what's the best way? It wasn't really like I guess you could say it's a question, but it's more of a headline, I would say.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like can he deliver? Like, do you think he can deliver the goods in the next 3 years with this new contract that he just signed, which is a 3-year contract with a player option at the end? Do you think to me, I feel like this is almost a filling out process for both of the Lakers franchise and for Luka. The
Right.
Lakers franchise get the next 3.5 3 years, possibly 4, to evaluate Luka to see if he's truly that superstar piece that they can build around that can take them to the next level. What I'm saying, see if he's gonna stay dedicated, keep himself in shape, all of those things that we all knew went on in Dallas, as to some of the reasons why they decided to part ways with him. And then I think on the other end, Luka gets to, check out the Lakers franchise and see, does he feel like they're a fit for his future? While trying to contend, he feels that they have enough to try to contend right now. So what I'm saying, he's got the deal. What I'm saying, hey, here comes the expectations. That's how it works, right? What I'm saying? We've seen what you did in Dallas. Now you're a Laker. We know how it all went down. You got the money, you got the bag. Now comes the expectations because you are a Los Angeles Laker. So it's time to see if he can truly deliver the goods. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it. Like, over these next 3 years, do we think Luka has what it takes to deliver the goods if the Lakers can put a solid championship contender around him, if they can build around him correctly?
Real quick, and then I want you to go, Raj. I just got a notification that the Cleveland Browns have signed their 6th quarterback to their roster, Tyler Huntley. Go ahead.
Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Well, I got Browns QB order in here. We're going to talk
Yeah,
about
I'm not feeling that.
So we'll get into that when we get to the NFL portion of the show. But go ahead on Luka. Your thoughts on the same question on expectations for a title.
Yeah. Yeah, Luka, I think is his expectations. I mean, as a Laker, it's always win a championship or bust. But we also got to set realistic expectations as well, and understand that it's not going to be easy, especially in the West.
No,
You
it's
know, the
not.
West is loaded,
It's not.
and we got a young Oklahoma City Thunder that will be a threat for the next 3 to 5 years. So it's not like their old team or they got a whole bunch of vets that's going to be leaving. That the only positive thing I can say about the Lakers right now is that they got their franchise guy, and Luka's that. You know, he's in great shape now. He's taking basketball very serious. And I feel like if you have Luka on his team, you got opportunity to get to the finals. But you have to build the right team around him. You got to build exactly how he needs a team built. When the Dallas Mavericks went to the finals, even though it was probably one of the most underviewed finals of all time, Luka and Kyrie fit perfect. Now you need to find somebody that's in the backcourt that can work with Luka like Kyrie did. Plus, you need to find a legit big that can grab rebounds and also put up points. So it's going to take a lot for them to find the pieces that they need. I think the direction they're going this year is pretty decent. It's not perfect, but it can at least get them to a playoff spot with DeAndre Ayton and also bringing in a few key pieces. But what Luka needs to do now is just, put out whatever he needs to just make the connections with the right people to come over to the Lakers. And that shouldn't be hard to recruit them. But in the background, you also got to remember LeBron's still on the team.
Yeah.
LeBron is still a Laker. So I do feel like this whole LeBron saga is kind of blown out of control this offseason. Even though I personally would love to see LeBron just move on, I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's going to retire a Laker. And I do feel like if they just find a couple more pieces, they can get to the Western Conference Finals this season. But they just need to find the right pieces to fit.
When it comes to the Los Angeles Lakers, like you said, we know that they historically are known as a franchise that's always in the playoffs and wants to win championships, right? They are up there in the upper tier of the team that's won the most. Obviously, them and the Celtics being the top two, between just championships as well as appearances. What I'm going to say first off is the same argument I make with Luka every time is regardless, he is a liability defensively. He can throw up 100 points. That's all well and good. But if your opponent throws up 101, you lose. That's just, basic, right? And to your point, they need more around him. LeBron is still on the team, yes. I don't think I'm hoping for their sake, Ayton is a good fit that he can figure it out and play to the level of what a first round overall pick should. But I also think that they need to strengthen the bench. They need to have another go-getter. They need, because Luka can be your top option now. That's fine. LeBron's still going to do what LeBron does. That's fine. But who's the third guy? You need at least a third guy, a third option to contribute to that. Because,
It's supposed to be Austin Reeves.
Right, but it's just technically yes, you're right. It is supposed to be him. But the inconsistency, like I need Reeves to average 20 a night for him to be considered that third guy. Like their nights.
I think he did average about 20 this past season. He just fucking he get shut down when the playoffs come.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
playoffs coming, he's not the same Austin Reeves no more.
Right.
Which is, I agree with you. He got to be better.
So you got to be more of an impact, and that's the thing. You're kind of on that line, like you're there, but you're not there. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he doesn't move the needle.
Right.
You know what?
And that,
He don't.
They need a guy that can play defense and also score, like a 3-and-D kind of guy that play the backcourt with Luka.
yes.
I'm not saying Kyrie was that guy, but he was the closest thing with his 3-point shooting. He was a 50, 40, 90 guy.
Right.
And that to me is a perfect. And then you had pieces like didn't Luka bring back Dorian Finney-Smith? Hold on a second. Let me just double check.
No, I thought Dorian Finney-Smith signed. He signed somewhere else. I thought.
Yeah, damn. It
This
was
off
last year they
season.
played together. See, if you
Yeah.
get somebody like that, like I like DFS. I like him. I like people that are 3-and-D guys. I'm trying to think of one that's open.
He didn't even. They barely played him.
That's the problem. That's why he left. Because they didn't use him correctly. But when he was in Dallas, they had him with Luka, and he actually, like you were saying, Mike, he filled in those roles of playing defense. Like he didn't have Luka. Listen, let's just keep it real. Luka is not a defender at all. He will never be a defender. He's a scorer. He's a lot like Trae Young when it comes down to scoring. Like Luka can give you the points, he can give you the assists, and he can even give you rebounds. But as far as that defense, that perimeter defense, he's not that guy. And he'll never be that guy. So you will need somebody that can defend and also play the perimeter and also the wing. So somebody like, I'm trying to think of a player, but I really can't because there's not a lot of them in the NBA anymore. But like I said, a Dorian Finney-Smith kind of guy, like that kind of build that could play the 2, the 3, the 4, and possibly, guard any one that's like the best shooter on the team against the best shooters on the team.
It makes sense. And
I don't know why the NBA don't see them as valuable. They're super valuable.
And in terms of answering the question, or maybe not answering, but to my thoughts is, can they win a title in the next 3 years? If they put the right pieces in place, absolutely. However, they have to put the right pieces in place and stay healthy. Those two things, yes, but it's going to be tough in a Western Conference that, in my eyes, has done a lot of things to get better in certain aspects. OKC is going to do what OKC does. Denver's going to be there, right? The Clippers are going to be there, like and I just mean in the playoffs. I expect Dallas to be there one way or another, even with Kyrie returning in January, I believe. So there's just a lot of moving pieces, a lot of elements. Houston should played well last season with Kevin Durant. They should be
number 2 in the West. They was number 2 in the West.
They should be right. That they're hoping Durant puts them over. So I expect them to be there.
And by the way, DFS is on the Houston Rockets.
He's on the Rockets.
Okay, yeah,
right
yep. That's where he went. Yeah, I knew he didn't stay with the Lakers. He left.
Yeah. And then I also expect this team to make a push forward, because this team decided today to give Mr. De'Aaron Fox $229 million. The San Antonio Spurs. Now I see the look on both of your faces. So, Do you R&B like this move, or do you not like? Uh, hold on, I want to word this a little differently. Not so much the move, not so much the
Yeah,
move because he was already there. It's not like they traded for him. Do you like
right.
that he got that heavy of an extension? Is he worth the amount that they're paying him in you
Sad to
guys'
say, but in
eyes?
today's NBA, he is. We in the era where you don't gotta average 20 to be a 200 and something $1 million man. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just the era we in. But De'Aaron Fox, De'Aaron Fox a beast though. You know what I'm saying? He's had a couple injuries the past couple seasons, but you know what I'm saying? We know what he can do, and he won Clutch Player of the Year a couple seasons ago. Like he definitely one of those guys or whatever. But um, do I think it? I think he's a needle mover. But I don't think locking him up moves the needle forward because I just feel like they need more. I I just I feel like they need more. I don't know what it is in San Antonio, but what I'm saying, I feel like they need more. They need more to go along with him and Wimby. Um, I don't I don't know what the deal is on Vassell and what's the other young
Castle.
cat? Yep. Like, well, no, Castle just got there. I like him. I actually like him. I believe he's gonna be a good piece for them that can, be like a electrifying scorer off the bench.
He's good.
I'm
He's
Johnson.
definitely.
Johnson. I'm thinking about Johnson.
Oh,
Keldon Johnson.
Keldon Johnson. There
Yeah,
we go.
yeah. Like between him and Vassell, I feel like one of them need to go because I feel like they pretty much the same player.
Yeah.
So you need to try to move
Castle
one
and
of them to try
Vassell,
to
you're
get
saying?
some vast. Yeah.
Okay, I can see
No,
that.
no, no, not Castle. Johnson and Vassell. Johnson and Vassell.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like they're the same player. I feel like they need to
Yeah.
try to move one of them to bring more value back to deepen that bench. And maybe that can get them to push forward, that they might need. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately they're gonna have to get chemistry and grow together because even though De'Aaron Fox has been in the league, he's a veteran on that team. He's still young. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? By NBA standards, he's still young. So it's a very young team. So they're gonna have to grow together and we'll see where it goes from there. But to answer the question though, like you said, I don't see it as a needle moving move even though I think De'Aaron Fox is a needle moving player. They need more.
Your thoughts, Raj?
Yeah, I definitely agree with what R&B said. I love the De'Aaron Fox move. He is a moving needle player. However, they do need something. I can't put my finger on it either, but I love what they got. Like, that's going to be one of my teams to watch. I love that they went out and picked up Carter Bryant, um, a guy that's like a defensive monster. If you guys watch him, go look on YouTube. Watch him in the summer series, how he played. He's a lockdown person. I love the fact that they got Stephon Castle last season, which was a great move. I'm a UConn person. I love watching UConn play. So just to see that was great. I love the fact that they went out and gave him this contract. This contract shows that they're trying to lock in some superstars. And even though I would say all-star, excuse me, all-star, not superstar. They're trying to lock in
Yeah.
all-stars to play alongside Wemby. He's a 2023 all-star. We know that he's a great player when it comes down to like scoring. Also, he did great with assists last year. He had 6 assists. And he was a steals leader in 2024. So it just goes to show you like this guy can play defense, he can score, and he can also pass. The only problem is they gotta strengthen up their bench. Keldon Johnson, I do not like with the San Antonio Spurs. I think Keldon Johnson is a great player, just not with the Spurs. I think they can probably get a couple prospects or even a draft pick in the future for him because he is young. But you have Sohan on that team. You got who else is like
Yeah.
Keldon Johnson?
I forgot about Sohan.
Yeah, they're the same players. Like there's like four different players all the same.
Experimental point guard.
Yeah, like they're not point
Pop back.
guards, but they're not. Yeah, they're not shooting guards either, but they can play really good defense. It's weird. And they're not exceptional at three at all. They're not
So you
exceptional at
saying you
hitting
would rather see them hold on to Johnson? Hold on to Vassell and move Johnson.
Yeah, I'd rather them move Johnson, and strictly for value, because Keldon Johnson been with the team for a while.
You think he's better? Would you say he's a notch above Vassell then?
A little bit.
Okay.
A little bit. Not that much, but I do think he's a little bit more ahead of Vassell when it comes down to overall. And I do feel like they can get somebody else. Like they can get either a backup center or a power forward, or even a shooting guard. I mean, a small forward that can shoot.
Yeah.
I would, and I know this is random, but I would have loved to see Wemby and Kevin Durant on the same team. Oh my God. Now that would have been special. But I know it's too late now. He plays for the Rockets, but I'm just saying, somebody like a Kevin Durant, they can go out. They can even go out and get Jabari Smith. I like him alongside Wemby.
Long shooter. Yeah.
And can spread and there will be a defensive. That team would be crazy to play. Play against. So I'm just saying. I think to wrap it up, I think De'Aaron Fox is a great addition as far as keeping them locked in for the future with this contract. And I hope that they can find something for Wemby as far as either the bench or somebody that can start and that can shoot.
So I agree with everything you guys said, your perspectives. I will say this. I was looking at their roster, and they could add a piece, but I think that they need one of the pieces that are there to step into that third role.
Who's that?
Well, it could be Vassell, it could be Castle, but they just need one of those guys to step up and be in that third guy, that third piece.
Right.
If I can't think of someone offhand who I can say they could get to fill in, but they definitely need another guy. I think that if they can work on the chemistry and become a cohesive unit, because that's what's important, right? Like the best cohesive unit, in my opinion, that I've seen with my two eyes was that Pistons team in 2004. Because not because one was, now four of them did make the All-Star game, respectfully. But it wasn't like any one of them did anything that was obliviously amazing to get there. They did it as a unit. They went as a unit. Now, Prince did not make it, but they fed off of each other. And I remember before that game, Charles Barkley said that if the four of them went in there and against the West, they would get killed. And that didn't happen. Right. You know why that didn't happen? Cohesiveness. Chemistry.
Yep.
So I just say they got to work on, if they can work on somewhat of chemistry, even if they go and grab a piece, because we know they went out and I believe Detroit traded for Rasheed Wallace, right? So we understand that, but he fit the mold. And that's what I think San Antonio needs. They can find someone who can be that, great. But if you cannot, or you can't trade for it, or you don't want to pull the trigger, I would say Vassell or Castle has to step up, even if both of them, one on the bench, one in the lineup. I just think that but I do agree that he is a needle mover, but he has this signing doesn't move the needle, because now I think it takes up a lot of their money. I would have given them half that money and tried to sign someone else, bring someone else in to help, even if it was a 2-year deal, So But hey, I'm excited to see what they bring to the table. You know,
I also, by the way, I hope Wemby can stay healthy this season. I know he had the blood clot issues before, but I hope that never comes back again because
absolutely,
that was scary.
absolutely.
And just to follow up real quick
Yeah,
with you, Mike, one thing that made that '04 Pistons team so cohesive the way that they were was because we did have one player that went beyond and did one thing at a excellent and high rate, and that was Ben Wallace as a defender.
Yep.
Wimby at 7'4", 7'5", or whatever the fuck his height is that we'll never truly know. He has to become that dominant presence down low, like Ben Wallace. Now I know
Yeah.
he's much more talented
taller.
and projected to be a much more better player than Ben Wallace, but you know what I'm saying, when you want to talk about cohesiveness and playing as a unit, a lot of the times that starts on defense. That starts on
Absolutely,
the defensive end of the floor, communication and chemistry, and you know what I'm saying, he's got to be that physical presence. He can't be Rudy Gobert, you know what I'm saying, but getting picked on and shit. So, you know, just want to throw that out there. That's all.
okay.
That's an excellent point. That is an excellent point because I think he took steps to become a defensive presence, but he needs to take another step
Yeah.
because you gotta fear him. You like you said how Ben Wallace was in the paint. That's how Wemby. He got to put on more weight. I think that's what he's missing. He's missing that strength. He got the length, but he don't have the strength. So
Absolutely.
that's you, Mike.
No, I have it on,
What's
but
that?
I can hear Seth Rollins screaming in the back.
Yeah.
I definitely hear it in one of y'all
Yeah,
background like a
I'm like, what's going on in your house? Oh, that's
Oh,
hilarious.
my TV's only on 15, so
Oh, it's probably the mic. It's probably the mic picking it up.
yeah, that's a good
so
mic.
so there's quite a few ways I can go here. So we're gonna start with Unk though. Raj, this was your topic, so I'm gonna let you go first on.
Introduce it first.
So
Introduce it first, Mike.
we know
He got five.
we know we know Shannon Sharp got fired on his day off. After a settlement from the lawsuit that had taken place.
I think they're so smart off.
So, he got fired.
They're gonna stop me every
Yeah.
single turn.
He got fired for
The
the lawsuit. In a sense, ESPN let him go. They decided to part ways with him.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on ESPN parting ways with Shannon Sharp?
Well,
this plan being
I want to say this.
top secret.
With everything that happened with the lawsuit,
People in the
with
entire
ESPN
world,
firing him, all that stuff, right? That's what I don't know if that's you, Mike, with the volume. All right, there we go. You guys hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right. So with everything that happened, right, with the lawsuit, with ESPN firing him, all this stuff happening, I call it the Sharp lesson. I hope that every single black athlete, black entertainer, male black entertainers, and male black athletes take heed and take lesson to what's happening. Because Shannon Sharp, ever since that Cat Williams interview, have been moving extremely sloppy with stuff. First off, let's start off with the girl. The girl was 19 when he met her. Unk is 50, what, 7, 56? Let me see.
Somewhere in his 50s.
He's in his mid 50s to late 50s. Okay, guys? The fact that you go out and find a girl 19 years old, and we ain't talking about 19 and looking like Jennifer Lopez or 19 and looking like you know, anybody that's like a top-notch, top-tier type woman out there. We're talking about somebody that's basic, average. And I'm not trying to down her or down his taste.
Hold on now. That wasn't no average booty.
See,
That's a nice
I knew you were
booty.
going to say that.
That's a nice booty.
But let's keep it real. RB, let's keep it real. You probably seen way better.
She not basic
in person.
I've definitely seen way better in person, especially doing the type of work I do, but
that's
she
what
not
I'm
basic though. She not basic.
Okay, well, I take that back. Not basic, but definitely not the level of being worth 20-something million. I ain't paying that. That's number one. Number two, ESPN is owned by Disney. If you think with not only this lawsuit that came up with that girl, but also there's another lawsuit that's pending with him and Ocho. Chad Johnson.
Yeah.
There's another lawsuit coming up. There's a woman that's suing both of them for like, I think, $15 or $20 million. So there's multiple lawsuits of I'm not going to say the word because I don't want to get flagged, but you know it rhymes with a fruit, right? So there's multiple cases of this. Shannon Sharpe is in his mid-50s. So it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing, Unc? You should move more. You should move like you got sense, man. He's been on this planet almost 20 years more than me, and he's moving like he's a teenager. So I just hope that everyone learns that lesson that happened. And I hope that he learned his lesson because it could have ended up worse. It could have ended up that he ended up arrested. And it sounds fortunate, but that's the way the system's set up. And for him to take this approach is just wild, man. I feel like he self-sabotaged himself. But the good thing is the positive thing about this is that he owns his own media. He's got his own podcast, and he can always bounce back. He doesn't really need ESPN. ESPN needs him. So that's the positive part about it. But I hope everybody learns a lesson. Never get caught with your thing in the box. So that's my take on it.
I don't know why that's loud, but I turned mine all the way down and muted my mic, and I can still hear it. So all I hear is LA Knight screaming in the back. I believe that Shannon Sharpe, you know, and I really hate to take this perspective, especially as much as I've been arguing with people who have no sense over Hulk Hogan all week.
We're not going to go there. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that.
Do what?
I've been seeing the coonery about that shit too. So coonery.
Yeah. I'm very heated about that. Very upset about that.
Yeah. I had a very heated debate with a person yesterday about it, you know, and I really hate when people try to say, you know, you can't use the black card, it ain't gonna work. I'm like, you don't understand because you're not black.
Exactly.
But that's the direction I unfortunately have to go. Is that you know that as a black man, you're born with a target on your back, and when you become a successful black man, we know Shannon Sharpe is a Hall of Famer. We know he's a 3-time Super Bowl winner. We know he has his own media company. We know he has two successful podcasts. We know he was successful on Fox Sports 1. We know he was having success with ESPN. And when you get involved with people who aren't on your level. And what I say when I mean that, what I mean when I say that is like this girl is 19, 20 years old or what have you, and now maybe he told her no for something. She didn't get something she wanted. So it says to me, I look at a thing I heard in Love and Basketball when the mother said to Quincy, "When girls look at you, they see dollar signs."
Mm-hmm.
That's the reality of this situation. She saw dollar signs, regardless if they were in a relationship or not. If he told her no to something, or she was unhappy or didn't get her way, all she had to do was go and cry that word you didn't want to say.
Right.
Because guess what? She's white, and they was gonna believe her. So now, what's he got to do, right? What's he got to do? Well, in order for him to be able to have, to rebuttal this, he's got to get in front of it. That's why in a lot of these situations, you see these settlements. If you have the money to get in front of it, you're gonna get in front of it. The image has already been I wouldn't say it's damaged, but the news is out there. People are going to look at it. Once something happens like that, it sticks to you. We bring up all the time. We bring up a lot of guys who've done wrong, and it sticks to them. Obviously what Hogan did. Obviously people hold what Kobe did against him still. Obviously, Stone Cold Steve Austin beating his wives. These things stick when they happen. R. Kelly, that stuck to him forever. It sticks, and it hurts your image, and it hurts you as an individual. And people say they make mistakes. I truly believe mistakes happen, but I truly believe that bad decisions happen more. What Shannon Sharpe did was make a bad decision, in my opinion. And unfortunately, that bad decision costed him his job at ESPN. That bad decision is, I've noticed the Club Shay Shay episodes, they're coming out a little slower. They're not as constant. I can see the quality of the guests are kind of on the decline. And I'm going to say it because I'm going to take it one step further from what you said, Raj. You said the Cat Williams episode was damaging to him. I think the Monique episode was more damaging.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. But it opened the door, though. Yeah.
Because not only because Cat Williams, to me, although he went up there and did what he did, I think he did it in a way where it's kind of like it opened your eyes to some of the things in Hollywood, right? But when Monique went up there, you allowed her to go up there and rant and rave about how she's been done dirty, about how all these people have said these things to her. You allowed her to go up there and talk about how her husband now, they used to be brother and sister, kind of had that kind of relationship. He used to look at her naked, and then suddenly they were in love. Like, and just some of the things that happened in that interview was what gave Club Shay Shay the messy title. That's what I heard in a lot of headlines. It's gotten messy. So to me, I personally think the white woman attacked the black man based off bad decisions, in my utmost opinion. And can he recover? Absolutely. Do I think he will? Down the road. But it's on the last thing I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna kick it to you, R&B. I know it was a little long with that, but I had a lot to say there. The last thing I'm gonna say is that it's a shame, because I do like the way Shannon Sharpe analyzes sports. I do like the way he speaks. I literally watched Undisputed just for him, because y'all know how I feel about Skippity Doo Dah Day Bayless. I was ecstatic when Stephen A wanted to bring him in to First Take, and I hope that one day we can see him grace the screen of ESPN or some other sports show, because I do like the way he talks sports, and not just football. Like, a lot of times you get, when they do First Take, Ryan Clark talks, football, and Dan Orlovsky, and then you got Perk basketball, but he can cover all sports. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but I hope we can see him again one day. You're glad, R&B.
Man, I'm gonna take a different angle on this one, but bear with me.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
we listening.
Yep.
What about culture vultures? What about the culture vultures? Because we know that can mean more than just appropriation when a white artist does something black in
Mm-hmm.
entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's vultures of entertainment culture.
Oh,
You know what
absolutely.
I'm
Oh,
saying? It's,
yeah,
it's
no doubt.
people that prey on these people that got a couple dollars. Now, I'm not here to try to defend this 50-something-year-old man and saying that he didn't make a couple bad errors in the whole situation with homegirl and whatnot. But
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Who are we to judge him if he's rich, you know what I'm saying? And not even just
Right.
because he's rich, he's a man and a single man in this world. So who are we to judge if he wanna fuck him a nice piece of hot young white ass? If that's where he wanna get his rocks at. Who are we to judge? Who are we to judge? Never talk on something that you've never experienced. Because none of us have that bank account. So we don't know what we'd be like if we had that type of money in our bank account and what we want to put our dick in. Let's just be honest. And as men, when you can have access to the quote unquote what they look at as best of the best or what you choose to be your best, and you can have that, most men are gonna have it, bro. And that's just the way of life. That's just how it goes. So I'm not here to judge that man for that. I just agree that he did make a couple of dumb decisions, getting himself caught up being recorded and shit like that. And I think that it was just with the whole ESPN thing, he was already in hot water with the alleged fake I made a mistake and went live
Oh, the
Mm-hmm.
type
video,
shit.
the
Like, yeah, you know
Instagram
how many
video.
functions you got to go through to go live on Instagram
Yeah,
before you
it's
actually live.
impossible.
Like, that's
Exactly.
not something that you just bump around and boop. Oh, the phone fell over. Oop, we live. We didn't even know. No, it don't happen like that. So, like, you know what I'm saying? He was already in hot water after that shit. And then to
Yeah.
get caught up in this is just like, we not even going to give you a chance for strike three. You out of here already. And especially with the allegations that they are, and like you said, more allegations coming down the tunnel. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It
Yeah.
it's just a bad look. So I understand why it happened. Do I like it? I do. Like watching Shannon Sharp on First Take. He was a good addition to the show. Like you said, Mike, I definitely enjoyed the way he can analyze not just football but all sports, and the realism that he brought to a lot of topics and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
it's just right is right and wrong is wrong, and you just getting caught up in too much shit, and we can't have that bad press. You know what I'm saying? We're a multi-billion-dollar, company here. We can't have that bad press. We can't have you making us look bad and bringing us down. So at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, you gotta go. But all I'm saying is I'm not about to judge him, for his lust of a woman. You know what I'm saying? Whether if she's legal and she's consensual to it, then hey, free game. But then when you start getting all of the choking and the physicalities and all of that stuff, you playing with hot water at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you talking about a white girl. Like, let's just be real. You know what I'm saying? You playing with hot water at that point. So that was a dumb decision. And it was a dumb decision to be caught on tape, and being caught recorded saying a lot of this stuff. Like, it just was bad press. And it was it was bad decisions. And you would think somebody his age would know a little better to try to move a little smarter or handle that situation a little better. But and then with having all that money, where the fuck are the NDAs at? Like if you into all this kinky shit, you
Exactly.
rich motherfuckers that's into this kinky shit. Y'all need to start following these guidelines of getting these
Mhm.
NDAs like the old school motherfuckers used to do. Like
Yep.
like motherfuckers like let's just keep it 100. Vince McMahon, who'd have had all these allegations come down these
Word.
past 5-6 years and ain't did a lick of jail time behind none of it. All he did was walk away richer than he was before the allegations. And yeah, he ain't a part of his company no more. What he built it to be what it is today, but I'm pretty sure he'd much rather be rich and separated than locked up and
And
rich. You know what I'm
and
saying?
he still got shares, so he's still making
Yeah,
money.
fuck yeah, he still got shares. You ain't gonna tell me he ain't got no damn
He may
shares
have
in that
sold
shit.
a lot of shares, but he still got a lot.
Yeah, hell
Yeah.
yeah, he do.
Well,
I wouldn't be surprised if he's still making certain calls. Did they get in contact with him about off the books,
Business
non-disclosed? Hey,
business stuff.
what do you think we should do here, or what angle should we push here? And he give a call on it, and that's what it is. I wouldn't be surprised if it's going on. So at the end of the day,
yeah.
we got to move smarter. Black men with this money. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Again, I'm not trying to judge nobody because we all human. We all got our flaws. We all got our skeletons in the closet. So if you like what you like, hopefully it's something legal for one. But if you like what you like, you got to start protecting yourself because it's too many of these young girls, white, black, and every other nationality in this
Mm-hmm.
society today, who are the culture vultures of entertainment. They
Mm-hmm.
pretend to like what you like
Mm-hmm.
until
Mm-hmm.
they get you in a position to where they can like what they like, which is that money, and they want to take it from you. So got
Facts.
to be more careful.
Yeah, man. For real.
The way you ended that, I like the way that you said, hopefully it's legal. Because we about to talk about someone who did something illegal and got his ass arrested, Mr. Gilbert
Oh,
Arenas.
oh. Yeah. Go ahead. Go
So
Allegedly,
ahead.
allegedly.
I'm now I just need a little help here because I this was one of those stories that I kind of like glimpsed. I didn't like read everything. I'm not even gonna lie because it's just like me personally. I laugh at some of the things Gilbert Arenas says on his show on his platform.
Yeah, me
It's
too.
like
Me too.
because only because from a sports perspective, you didn't do enough in your career that warrants you to speak the way you speak.
Right.
Like I said in our last topic, Gilbert Arenas is most known for bringing a gun to
Mm-hmm.
the stadium and pointing it at his teammate and getting suspended for what? Was it a whole season or was it more? I don't even. I think it was like seven.
For the remainder of the season. Yeah.
It was like 70
Just
something
random
games, I
season.
believe.
Yeah.
Um, and like he's
I
not
just
known for he has no accolades, meaning like he's got. I don't think he has. I know he has no MVPs. I don't think he's made like NBA first team. Like I'd have to look. I could be wrong on that, but like he's got no memorable accolades. So from what I
I
read,
disagree with you though that he don't have any classification to
Yeah. Well,
speak on certain things.
he's got a few.
well,
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure he does, but what I'm saying is some of the things that he says is so outlandish, your classification don't warrant you to speak the way you speak.
Right.
Like you
Okay.
sometimes
Yeah.
he speaks like he's an all-time great. And it's like,
Yes.
you
Yeah.
can't speak in that term because you didn't get those credentials to me.
Like Nick,
I'm
you speaking like you the FBI and you just the city police department, man.
Exactly.
right. Like, you
We
look
took
at
this
like
case from you.
you speaking like you kind of like a Magic Johnson or like an Oscar Robinson, things like that. So meanwhile, bro, you just I don't even know how to put them, but From what I read,
injury. I would say Gilbert Arenas is for lack of a better way of saying it, respectfully, because I am a fan of him. Injury riddle has been that still got some notoriety out here because he run his mouth a lot.
right?
And he got a podcast. Exactly.
Because Hibachi, let's keep it 100. Hibachi was a thing now. The Agent Zero, that was my guy. With like that little
Yeah.
stretch he had in Washington when he was like going crazy for a few seasons. Like, yeah, he was doing his thing, but once he got injured, it wasn't the same no more. And then he couldn't beat LeBron.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, so he was arrested for illegal poker games.
Yeah.
Apparently, I think he claimed that he rented the house or that he was the owner of the house or something because there's somebody else involved. And apparently it was the guy that was running the games or something like that, but everything was in Gilbert Arenas' name or something. It's real tricky. It's sticky.
Yeah, it says an illegal gambling business is what they're investigating. I'm kind of just glancing through it. It's I mean, a lot here, but I'll just say this because I'm like I said, I don't have full knowledge on this topic. I'll leave it to you guys. I'll kind of just keep it short and simple. Kind of just piggybacking mainly off what you said about Shannon Sharp R&B is just you got that target on your back. Black man podcast, former NBA player. And then you go and do this on top of, we know what you brought to your career. We know the legal troubles you've had. And to me, it's just like, it's kind of like, to me, this is the equivalent of NFL players that bet on the games. You're going to get caught, right? Or NBA players. You're going to get caught. If you doing something you ain't supposed to be doing, guess what? You're going to get caught. Hopefully he can overcome it. But once again, same, like I said, this is the same. It's going to stick to him. You know what I mean? Like, it's already out there. It's going to stick to him. It's going to hurt your show. It's going to hurt. And then, and that's the other thing. I kind of left this out. I'm just thinking about this. Like, once you start doing these kinds of things, it hurts sponsorship. It hurts your viewing. It hurts the guests you get on. Like, it really tanks you. I mean, like the craziest sponsorships drops I seen was Diddy. Like, it was just one after the other. But when you start doing things, that's what happens. But hopefully,
I think this compare though, Mike. I don't think this compare though. Hear me out. No. And I want to know what you think about it.
I was just using that saying how when you start to do things, how it can hurt you. Not saying they're on the same level. I just needed an example to make my point.
Yeah. I don't think you was thinking that they were on the same level though. I was just trying to clarify that it's I don't see him losing those sponsorships off of some shit like this unless it actually go
all the way, convictions.
All the way, and he get into some deep shit, convictions, and all that different type of shit. Well, when you talk about the shit like with Diddy and all that other shit like that, like that's instant. You know what I'm saying? They instantly dropping you when shit like that come out, videos of beating on women and rape cases and sexual harassment, all the shit that Shannon Sharp, like that's just a different level. It's an instant, you know what I'm saying? Nobody give a fuck about somebody gambling. People illegally gamble all the time. In the hood, on the corner, we do niggas had dice games and shit.
Absolutely.
Ask Michael Jordan.
Right.
Michael Jordan was notorious for gambling all the time.
Yes, but he did it legally at least.
Yeah. But I'm saying like as far as like he would bet people like remember what was that? What was that?
Yeah.
He was playing the security guard and stuff like that. Like he was just addicted to just playing games, man. He's a gamer.
Yeah. Competitive. Yeah.
Yep, mad competitor. I'll say this, and let me just show you real quick. First off, Gilbert Arenas, career-wise, as far as his numbers, 20-point scorer, was it 4 or 5 assists a game? He was really good. He's 3-time All-Star, most improved player. I mean, he's definitely one of those guys when he was one of those guys. However, we know Gilbert Arenas is a knucklehead, and I'm gonna show you why. This is what was in the house.
What's it say? Arenas Poker Club?
Yes. Okay? That was what was in the house. Now, he can say he was just renting the house out. He can say he had nothing to do with it. But I'm looking at it. It says Arenas Poker Club. God damn. I can't defend that. I can't defend that. And what really got him caught up was that he was dealing with allegedly, I got to say that for legal reasons, he was dealing with the Israeli mob.
Yeah.
The fuck is wrong with him?
Apparently a lot. Like a lot.
So I don't have a problem with, you got to get your money, but you also got to save your money too, because remember, podcasters and streamers are the new rappers. Podcasters and streamers are the new rappers. And I say that because they're seeing millions and millions and millions of dollars, especially when you're at that level of Gilbert Arenas, Shannon Sharp. Like these guys are making crazy amount of money because they're getting the money direct. They don't need no outlet as far as like a distributor. They don't need ESPN. They don't need Fox. All they need
They
is
already got the name for one.
they already popular. People love their show. We as a culture will never drop them unless they do some crazy stuff like defend Hulk Hogan. Like unless you do stuff like that, like yo, in all honesty, we're gonna support you because that's what we always do, and we know we make everything go popular, everything goes viral with us. So the feds are definitely looking at ways of tapping into their money because they're not getting a cut. And what I mean by the feds, I mean like the government, because believe it or not, Gilbert Arenas don't ever need to be on ESPN ever again, even though he was on the show with Stephen A. Smith. And so was Shannon Sharp. And so was Marquise Morris.
Marquise Morris.
So I'm gonna just let you do the math. Who's the informant? But anyway, I say that because those guys don't need ESPN. We don't need ESPN anymore. We get our news on our phone. We get our podcasts on our phone now. So we don't need Fox News. We don't need Fox Sports. We don't need none of these outlets. All we need is the people that we like. We like Shannon Sharp, we're gonna listen to Shannon. If we like to watch Gilbert Arenas, then we're gonna watch Gilbert on the show with the rest of those guys. And shout out to them because they figured it out. They're like, yo, we are the bag. We are the audience. We are, we know what we got and we know what we can present. And guess what? They don't need major sponsors. Because remember, the whole purpose of getting all these artists and all these athletes out there with these podcasts is so they can get these sponsorship deals. And they get paid off of that. But how much money do you think they make? They make millions off of this stuff. So that's the reason why I think a lot of stuff is getting cracked down. Like you're going to see a lot of these podcasters like, Gilbert and Shannon. They're going to have to walk very carefully out here in this world because there's a lot of people that's hating on them and a lot of people looking for that check. And last thing I'm going to say, I kid you not, as soon as they announced that he was getting another deal, Shannon Sharp was getting that $100 million deal or $30 million, I forgot how much it was. That's when the lawsuit came out. So what does that tell you? You got to move silently. You got to do your thing do your thing. Don't make too much noise and keep it moving, because there's like R&B was saying, there's vultures out here, man. And Gilbert should know better. Like Gilbert, I like the dude as far as, his creativity and what he does with his podcast, but he got to move smarter. So.
Absolutely. So I got two topics here, and both of them really are irking my nerves. But I'm going to start with the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
We're going to get into red zone. That's the other topic that's really irking my nerves. But the Cleveland Browns. Now, we all know, anyone who knows me knows, I am a Steelers fan inside and out. But sometimes the level of stupidity from teams within your division needs to be discussed. So, as anyone knows, when I've been watching the Steelers pretty much beat up the Browns the whole time I've watched football. Of course, there were some times we lost. Of course, there were some times we didn't get the job done against them. But in the Roethlisberger era, I think he was like 21-4 against them, which was like crazy. So, they went out a few years ago. They got Deshaun Watson. They believed he would be revitalized. Another one. Did something. It's always stuck to him. So we go, and how long's he been there now? 2 years or 3?
Who?
Deshaun Watson with Cleveland. It's been 3. Might be
I
3 because he was hurt one.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It is 3 years.
Yeah,
3 years.
So now it hasn't gone well, and now we go over, and now we have to. He's going to miss this season after re-injuring the Achilles. All right, you go out. Flacco comes in, did you some justice, got you to the playoffs. Didn't have the Cinderella story you wanted, but okay. He went away, went to the Colts, I believe. That didn't work at all. You bring him back into the fold. All right, whatever. Then you go, I have no issues with you getting a veteran quarterback who you feel could be serviceable for you. Then you go out and you trade for Kenny Pickett. All right, whatever. He's there for you. Then you go and you draft the guy. What was it? What's his name? Dylan Gabriel or something like that?
Yeah, Dylan Gabriel.
You draft him. And then you draft Shador. Mm-hmm. And you still have Watson on your roster. So you have 5 quarterbacks until about an hour ago.
Now you got 6.
Until about an hour ago where I read that I got an alert that Tyler Huntley had been signed. Now let me explain to you guys why this pisses me off. I sat there through the NFL draft thinking, knowing the Steelers needed a quarterback, knowing regardless of what Aaron Rodgers wanted to do, I knew that if he was going to play with the Steelers, it was going to be 1 year, 2 years tops. And you passed on Shador. Now, there were reports that, Rodgers told the Steelers to pass on Shador or he wasn't coming. Whether that's true, I don't know. Honestly, I don't fucking care. So, you passed on him. You picked up Will Howard later, because the Browns had taken him whatever round it was, 5 or 6. Now, I do believe part of that was a ploy by the NFL to get people to watch the draft longer. I do believe that, also that people had said that he needed to be humbled. Why are we humbling white players? Why are we humbling white? Why are there? Is it because his father is outspoken and he's sure he may have had a quote unquote cocky demeanor? Maybe his interviews weren't all that great, but why is it that we need to humble black players? That's just aggravating. That all these teams that needed a quarterback, and it wasn't only the Steelers that could have utilized the quarterback. The Saints passed up on him. Hell, there were even teams who have a quarterback who don't have the right quarterback potentially, who could take him, right? So for the Browns to sit up there and you took him. All right, whatever. He came off the board. But then for him to play effective and for you as an organization to see what he's doing on that field and fucking put him forth on your depth chart, your organization needs to be killed, needs to be destroyed. You should lose every fucking game because regardless, he's the best one who's played out of all four of them guys. Flacco, he had one great season 15 years ago, won his Super Bowl. Kenny Pickett didn't do anything with us, goes to Philly, gets a bench Super Bowl ring, now wants to go over here and act like he can be a starter quarterback. No! This other guy, you drafted him before Shador. Why is he there? I haven't even seen him do anything. But the guy that's out here playing, showing you what he can do, making great throws, fourth on your depth chart, and then what do you do after that? You go and sign another fucking quarterback? For what? What do you need 6 quarterbacks for? What do you need it for? That's just aggravating because you have the best one is last on your depth chart. And for whoever made these decisions, whoever's deciding this, Cleveland, like I said, I'm a Steelers fan, but as a fan of football and as a black man who's seeing a black man be railroaded before he even gets a fucking opportunity to get on the field, fuck you for that. Fuck you. Fuck Kevin Skavanski. Fuck your owners. Fuck your GM because that ain't right. Fuck everyone. I hope you go 0-16 again, and I hope you have another fucking parade and that a bomb lands on your building while you're in it. Bullshit. And that's all I got to say.
And may you rest in shit.
With Hulk Hogan. Whoever wants to go next.
RB, go ahead, man.
I ain't gonna lie, Rod. I'm gonna be short and sweet and kick it off to you. I don't have much to say on this Browns thing. Only thing I will say is that we see what's going on right before our eyes, gentlemen, with this young black man at the quarterback position for the Cleveland Browns, who goes by the name of Shador Sanders. We see it. All right. So all of the shit with Colin Kaepernick and so we can't be blind to this. We see this shit happening right before our eyes. He's being railroaded. He's being blackballed. It's not fair. It's a debacle. Man, with that I'll pass it on to Raj.
Go ahead,
I'm gonna be short and simple, short and sweet as well. And I'm going to say I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. And in fact, I'm surprised that you're surprised, Mike. Because this is what
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I'm just pissed.
Well, I get it. And I feel you on that. I just got to say, well, this is the NFL. And you know how messed up the NFL is? I'm gonna break it down to you real simple. Tom Brady is his mentor. Tom Brady trained this young man, excuse me. Why didn't Tom Brady draft him to the Las Vegas Raiders?
That was another team that I had in the back of my mind.
Exactly. You know why? Because they got Geno Smith on that team. And we know what happens with Geno. He gets hot. He gets hot in the fall and he starts to freeze in the winter. Okay? So we already know what it is. Geno's Pizza is going to turn the ball over.
Geno's Pizza is wild.
Geno's Pizza is going to turn the ball over. And he's going to get hurt and he's going to get injured before week 8, right? He's going to play a good 6 weeks. He's going to be hot. You're going to be like, yo, I'm glad I picked him up on fantasy. You're going to be happy with him for 6 weeks. And then by week 8, he's going to die. He's just going to completely just collapse on the field. And then after that, they're going to roll out Gardner Minshew. I don't care what team he's on, but somehow he always ends up on the same team that, ends up in that situation. So the Las Vegas Raiders is one of those teams. They're going to go get Gardner Minshew, and he's going to put up crazy stats for like 3 weeks, and then he's going to die. And then after that,
him dying is crazy.
And then after that, they're going to go into their local bar out there in Las Vegas and pick up somebody that can throw a ball and let him be the quarterback for the remainder of the 2025 season. That's their play. It happens every single year. So my question is to you guys, why didn't Tom Brady draft Shedeur Sanders? If anybody knows him better, it's Tom Brady.
Well, I would tell you this to quickly answer that question. We all know that Tom Brady has shown in the past that he's gonna be a good old boy, no matter how cool and accepting he always tries to make himself seem, and to the public and to the fans and so on and so forth.
Yep.
When it comes down to it, we remember where he stood when the whole Trump shit was going on with Colin Kaepernick, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tom
Exactly.
Brady has been shown that when it comes down to it, he's going to be a good old boy.
Yep. And he's going to be Uncle Tom. So that's my point. They are on code, and Shedeur Sanders is getting punished because of the sins of his father. The league is pissed off because Deion Sanders changed the game. Deion Sanders was not only playing in NFL, he was also successful in the MLB.
Mm-hmm.
Deion Sanders was coaching at a HBCU. They said, "Oh, it's a HBCU. It's not a real college." And he dominated. Then he went to play. Then he coached the Colorado Boulders. I mean the Buffalo, excuse me, out there in Boulder, Colorado, and he put up career numbers. Helped those boys put up career numbers against D1 teams that were supposed to be great. He made Shedeur Sanders look like one of the best quarterbacks in the whole college in the NCAA. And then on top of that, he helped produce Travis Hunter. So my point is, like we just said, good old boys gonna be good old boys, and Uncle Tom gonna be Uncle Tom. So that's why he didn't draft him. And I'm not shocked because the NFL is on code with this. They do not want Shedeur Sanders in the league. Even though he's throwing nothing but touchdown passes in training camp, he haven't turned the ball over once. I think he got like 24, 25 TDs. And all the teammates love him, according to the reports that they're showing for the training camp. They saying that he's a leader and he's great. But the NFL don't want him. That's the politics, fellas. And that's one of the main reasons why I can't stand the NFL sometimes. Because it's still stuck. Facts. So
absolutely.
That's my take.
Well, And I'm gonna, I agree with all that, and I hope he gets a fair opportunity. Um, what your father has done or said shouldn't be held against you. Like obviously he's even though whatever happened pre-draft or things he might have said or whatever, what have you. Obviously on the field he's balling. So the play, we're at a point where the play no longer speaks for itself, and it's sad, very. Because the NFL is, we know what they're about. They're about controlling the narrative and also controlling your pocket.
Yep.
Now, we understand and we know that last season the NFL made a deal with Amazon to take over the Thursday night games. Or was that last season or 2 seasons now?
2 seasons ago.
2 seasons now? Okay.
Yep.
Obviously, NBA has followed suit as they will be doing the same thing next season. But then the other day I read that the NFL has sold. Why is that? Okay. Has sold NFL Red Zone to them. And that ESPN will also get 8 more games added to their yearly schedule as a part of this deal. And I'm also reading that ESPN is going to sell this service at $29.99 a month. Now, if you're looking at it, okay, let's just say, now I've read mixed review reports on this, but let's just say for the sake of this debate, this conversation, that this is true and this is going to happen, right? That's $30 a month. Now, I'm not saying we're not true NFL fans, but I'm just not paying for that fucking NFL ticket. It's just not happening. It's just too much. I think that's like $400 for the whole thing, but I think they offer a monthly option. So let's just say it's $400.
Piracy.
That's $130. You get it. You have Amazon Prime. That's like 10. I think that's like $7. Yeah. The Peacock games they're gonna show. You're looking at over $200-$300 to watch football. And what's getting frustrating is you're making it harder for the average fan. Not the average fan, but for a fan like us, like me. I like to watch full games, but for the sake of this show and the sake of just staying on top of everything, Red Zone's very useful. Red Zone really, sometimes I'll put the game on the TV or, like a good game, and then I'll put Red Zone on my iPad, and it just really is frustrating that you are making it harder to enjoy the sport. You're making it expensive. And the issue is that, like me, I'm thinking when does the shit end? But the shit ain't gonna end. You know why? Because people are gonna keep paying their money. People are gonna say they're gonna make those unilateral decisions. Because at that point, to me, if I gotta pay all this money, right, I'm better off just getting the damn ticket. Honestly. And then I can watch whatever I want, whoever I want at any time. And it just gets to a point where it's like, when is enough enough? I think this is awful for standard NFL fans. Standard fans, like us. And when I say standard, just people who like to watch the game, we just, how much money you think people got, and you're spreading it. Like I said, you spread it against Amazon, Peacock, Netflix. Forgot Netflix. Now you're going to utilize it. Now ESPN pretty much can do what they want. I don't know if it's going to be on their app. I don't know if they're going to put it on a channel on the TV. I don't know what they're going to do with it. But what I do know is it's gonna be a mess, and it's just frustrating because it's just like even though the NFL season's technically 4 months, that's $120. That's how I'm looking at it. I'm looking at another $120 that that now I got to spend just to watch what I've been watching that comes with my TV package for years now, and it's like something's got to give, like something's got to give, like can't we just get an all inclusive NFL thing here, and like something. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
But you know what, Mike? You want to know the most crucial part of this that you didn't mention, that I'm surprised you didn't mention?
What's that?
The NFL's 10% equity in ESPN from this deal.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know why that's so important? Because now you talked about control, right? NFL wanting to have full control and shit, right?
Right.
Now with that 10% equity, now you're robbing Peter to pay Paul,
Yep.
because now they can have that full control. Now they can tell ESPN, what, don't talk about this, talk about that. They can basically tell ESPN what and what not to talk about with that 10% equity being a part of that deal now.
Like, I'm
It's
sorry.
very
Who has 10% equity? ESPN and the NFL. NFL and the ESPN.
NFL has 10% equity into ESPN now
Okay.
because it was that in that new deal. And so it's almost the same as Madden. You never heard people cry about certain things on Madden, and then they'll tell you, like, well, they would have did this in the game, or they used to have this in the game, but the NFL made them take it out when Madden sold the rights exclusively to the NFL. You know
Gotcha.
what I'm saying? They sold the exclusive rights to the NFL, so that gave the NFL the right of way to tell them what they wanted and didn't want in the game. For instance, you can play a dynasty mode and play with a crappy team that you want to build up, but every week you sell out. The NFL doesn't want. Remember back in the day, if you had a bad team, your attendance would be low. It
Yep.
was a realistic like that. They changed
Yep.
that. The NFL didn't want that anymore. They changed that. So with things
Right.
like that, it comes along with, what I'm saying, little nuances that we have to pay attention to, because now they can, cry foul on certain things that someone may say, or block them from talking about certain things, and so on and so forth.
Yep.
That makes sense. I'm trying to find what I seen in the deal. I thought I shared it the other day. I might have, I might not have.
You did.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. Details is a new. Okay, it is an app. So $29.99 a month app with all its channels, games, and red zone. NFL is expected to get 10% equity in ESPN. NFL Network and fantasy football will now be under the ESPN umbrella. ESPN gets 7 more regular season games per year. Deal is reportedly worth over $2 billion.
Hey, and I'm gonna throw one more thing out there too. I'm not saying that this was all because of that, because I don't think they look at it that deep. But don't think it wasn't a little bit of motivation behind NFL Network possibly reaching out to sign Shannon Sharp behind this too.
Mm.
Think about it. Think about it. You don't think NFL Network would have tried to reach out and sign Shannon Sharp?
It's possible.
It's possible, but now we know that it can't happen for sure. Now
So now you're
think about
saying
it.
they're kind of just blocking him out altogether.
Yeah.
Or this move blocks him out altogether in a sense.
In a sense, yeah.
I mean, we'll see what happens with the NFL, and where they're going. And have to just take it one day. I just don't like it. I don't like it at all. and it sucks in that regard. So I wanted to you had wrote in there R&B, and I've been watching, keeping an eye on DK Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers. I've been watching.
Looking pretty decent. Looking like some chemistry's on there.
I've been watching what they've been doing. And I will say this, although it's to this point, it looks like they're building something. It looks like that there could be something there. And not even just with just him. I've looked at, Will Howard, the guy we drafted, the quarterback. He's been saying how Rodgers has been helping him, and he was like, I don't want to overstep. He goes, no, please overstep. Things of that nature. There was something else I heard. I can't remember offhand right now. Mike Tomlin saying, this is what we've been looking for. In a sense, this is what we knew he could do. Things of that nature. It's all good to hear. I'll say that. It's good to see the chemistry. However, me personally, I don't buy anything until September 9th at 1 p.m. in MetLife.
You're still a hater.
Oh, no, it's not about hating. It's not about hating. It's about
You are a hater.
It's not about hating. It's about the reality of the situation. The reality is you can do that for 100 practices. That's fine. You can do that 100 practices.
I've never seen somebody hope for the worst for their own team that they root for.
Oh, I'm not saying nothing like that today. I'm just saying I want to see it on the field. I want to see what you are putting in training camp and in your practices. I just want to see it cross over to the field. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure.
I just want to see it go over to the field. It's no surprise. I still don't like the signing, but we're here now. So it's 1 year, $13 million or whatever he signed for. He gonna do what he's gonna do. Hopefully they play well.
Listen to Mike, Ross. I don't like he coming around.
Yeah, he got no other choice.
No, it ain't coming around. I'll never come around. But what else am I gonna do? we ain't never gonna say we support Aaron Rodgers.
Well, technically, you are.
You support the Steelers.
You're a Steelers fan. That he is the quarterback.
He's the quarterback.
So
you don't have to be my quarterback.
You got to pick one. You can't straddle both sides of the fence.
Look, Mike, that's like right now with the Jets, right?
So wait, so you gonna say like it's kind of like when people say, oh, Donald Trump's not my president. So
right.
It's the same thing.
That's your president. He's literally your president.
He's somebody's president because I ain't vote for that nigga.
Well, just because you didn't vote for him don't mean that's not your president.
You live in
Listen, it's still Eric B. and Rakim for president, damn it. Eric B. and Rakim.
But as far as Aaron Rodgers go, Mike, it's okay. Because you know what? When he start winning games, you will be a supporter.
He's not gonna win games. Come on, bro. Let's relax.
He's going to. I didn't say win the Super Bowl. I said win games.
He ain't gonna do that.
So they're gonna go 0-6. They're gonna go 17, 16?
They're gonna win games. They're gonna win games, but he ain't gonna win a lot of them.
How much of a hater he is. He's a hater. He's a traitor.
I am seeing a potential losing season.
No, you got to give him a chance, Mike.
I don't got to give him shit.
Yes, you do. You know why? Because without him, you'll be stuck with Russell Wilson.
Nah, that nigga walked.
He'd be stuck with Mason.
He went to go to a team with no offensive line.
I meant to say Mason Rudolph. My bad.
He'd be stuck with Mason Rudolph, the red nose, got smacked in the head with a helmet.
With a helmet.
His own helmet. That's important. His own helmet.
A little bit like, yeah. So, would you rather have him or Aaron Rodgers? I'll pick Aaron Rodgers any day of the week. I don't want red-nosed reindeer on my team.
Red-nosed reindeer. He got smacked up. I mean, it is what it is.
I feel Brittany Griner is my quarterback before I fucking put Mason Rudolph off there.
Yeah, me too. Rodgers. Like I feel like you definitely got an opportunity and a chance with all jokes aside. Like I feel like the team is actually a legit team now. Because let's be real. Russell Wilson wasn't it.
He looked like it though.
He wasn't it. He was, to that point, he was it until they started facing the playoff caliber teams.
Russell Wilson was Geno Smith for y'all. Just how he just described Geno Smith a little earlier. That's exactly what him and Justin Fields did to y'all last year. Yeah, started out looking good.
Always.
That is true. And I say, I say, that they really put themselves in this situation. And it leads me to ask a question that I heard. So we know, you guys both know Ben Roethlisberger has a podcast, and he was asked this question.
What's it called? The Rapist Hour?
Oh, damn. Come on, man.
Don't do that.
Well, I never seen it. I just want to know the name of it.
You about to get us?
Drunken bathroom stories?
Once again, just like the theme of this show's been. Once you do something, it sticks with you forever.
I'm just wondering what the name of the podcast is. Is it toilet blow flushies?
Toilet blow flushies, Jesus.
Ooh.
Oh,
man,
my
Bathroom Bandits?
Oh man.
What's the name of his podcast, Mike?
Oh my God. Footballing, it's called, with Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh man.
Footballing with Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh,
so
man.
he was on this one episode, he was asked this question. And the question was, and I want you both to answer this.
All right, go for it.
Would you take Patrick Mahomes right now, as in everything he's accomplished already, or would you take prime Aaron Rodgers?
It depends on who's the rest of the team. Like, you didn't get what team?
I think he was just saying it was the context. The context of it was more of just like, if you were to kind of start a team, right? Like, or you were going to build around, which one would you build around? Would you build around Patrick Mahomes currently right now, or would you build around prime Aaron Rodgers?
I'm taking prime Aaron Rodgers. Come on, that's not even. Come on.
I'm taking Roxanne Perez cheeks in my face. Oh my God, magnificent. Oh, damn, my bad. I'm taking prime Aaron Rodgers. See what I'm saying? See how easy it was for Shannon Sharp? And he got the money. See?
You got a point.
So you're taking prime Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
based
Nah,
on
because Mahomes, to be quite honest, Mahomes haven't been healthy the past couple seasons.
I'm not even judging it off of him not being healthy because I don't think that really plays into it. Because we just asking about them at their best, not when they hurt or anything like that. At their best, the best. And I'm not even being biased here. I would take prime Aaron Rodgers because I feel like he raised the level of the situation that he was put into in Green Bay in his prime versus with Mahomes, respectfully, as great as he has been and is, he's benefited from being placed into a great situation. If Mahomes, if you were to switch Mahomes with Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, who's to say that the story wouldn't look the same in a different way? You know, we sitting up calling Lamar to go, saying that Patrick can't beat him because he got Andy Reid and all these hosts of weapons that he had when he first got there, or same with Josh Allen. Who's to say? You know what I'm saying? Uh, so again, I'm not trying to take anything away from him, even though it comes across that way. But let's be honest, Patrick Mahomes landed into a hell of a cushy situation.
the only thing that sucks with these kinds of conversations is people hold things like that. Like in this instance, you're not taking it away, but it's being held against him. It's not like he asked to be drafted there. Um, it's kind of, that's
Nobody asked to be drafted anywhere.
right.
But
So it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to always like have those debates. I kind of look at it a little bit the other way. And the other way is I think it's hard for a young player to come in, even with all this talent around him, and take over the way he has. Um, it's not easy
I,
when
I,
you
I, I don't understand how you could define a situation that's factually easier as not easy.
well,
It's not
you're
like
saying, hold on, hold on.
going number one
You're
to a team
saying
that's absolutely
so
garbage.
you think it's easy to win a Super Bowl? You think it's easy to go
That's not what I.
to
That's not what I
yeah,
said.
that is what you said. That
No,
is
it's
what you
not.
said.
No, it's
That's
not.
exactly what you said.
It's
You
not.
just said
What I said.
no. But factual. We're talking facts. Is it hard to? Do you think it's easy to win a Super Bowl? Yes or no?
No, it's not easy to
Do
win a
you
Super
think
Bowl,
it's
Mike. It's
easy
not.
to win the divisional round every year and go to the AFC Championship 6 straight years? Do you think that's
No,
easy?
I do not. I do not.
And he came in and did it with that team. Then they lost Tyreek Hill. What did he do? Win a Super Bowl. Then after that, they were in another rebuilding year. What did he do? He won a Super Bowl. Did he win this year? No, but he still made it there. The only point I'm making is you're not wrong in what you're saying, but for a young player like that to come in, sat on the bench for a year, was deemed the starter, and to go to the AFC Championship and the defense fuck you, and you a pre-snap penalty got a first down for them that lost you the game, and then you win a Super Bowl the following year. That's not easy for a young quarterback. That's all I'm saying. For a young guy to come in with veterans that's been playing, it's not easy it's not easy for a veteran.
It's not easy for a young quarterback, but to be placed in that situation damn sure makes it a lot more less stressful. For lack of a better way of saying it. You know what I'm saying? It's not we come on, man. We comparing apples to oranges here. This dude did not go to a Kansas City Chiefs team that was picking number one overall or top 10 overall for that matter. That was coming off of some fucking suck ass season. That's not what happened. Now, all credit to him, you know what I'm saying? And it's not even what happened to Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers landed into a pretty decent situation himself, following behind Brett Favre, who Shit, they went to the NFC Championship, if I'm not mistaken, the year that Brett Favre finally decided to, that they decided to move on from Brett Favre and go with
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers. They were coming off of the NFC Championship. All I'm saying is that, it's prime to me. I felt like prime Aaron Rodgers raised the Green Bay franchise and carried it. I don't think the same way about Patrick Mahomes. Even though I acknowledge his greatness and him being great, I don't think he's carrying the Kansas City franchise by himself. I think that there has been a host of help there, with him, along with a hell of a coach. And did you guys not have a conversation in a show over the past year where you started talking about Andy Reid being in the discussion for the greatest coach of all time if him and Patrick Mahomes were able to get this 3-peat?
Yes.
My point
Yes.
exactly. We ain't saying that about Mike McCarthy.
Who you asking when that nigga gonna get fired?
Actually, the opposite. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what we was asking. I mean, there's really no wrong answer. I think when you look at, for me, when you look at the two guys in there, hard to say if Mahomes is entering his prime or in it. I would say he's in it, right? When you look at prime Aaron Rodgers, that was what he was able to do was different. Was very different.
And MVPs. Patrick Mahomes don't have them MVPs.
Yeah, and you can't take that away. One has, the other lacks. Patrick Mahomes does he have any MVPs?
Yeah,
one, right?
Pat got he got an MVP. He got one. But just like you just said that, what one head has, another lacks. Yeah, Aaron got the MVPs, but he only got the one Super Bowl and the one Super
Right.
Bowl appearance.
Right.
Patrick Mahomes has the one MVP, but he has multiple Super Bowl appearances and multiple Super Bowl wins.
Right.
And so it's just one of those things. Like, but if I'm, like Raj said, it's like comparing apples to oranges. But me, prime Aaron Rodgers was probably the most accurate, that accurate quarterback that I've seen in recent history. And on top of that, his touchdown to interception ratio was elite. I mean, like 33-4, 27-3. Like, he was really smart with the football. That's for sure. So, coming up on 2 hours. So I'm gonna leave it up to you guys. Do you want to talk about Manziel and Cam, Gillian Hurts, or do you want to talk about Parsons demanding a trade?
We gotta touch on both of those. We got to. We can keep the Cowboys shit to a minimum though. We can make that shit quick, but we gotta touch both of them.
I don't know about that. All right. So let's start with Manziel and Cam. Please explain to me what's going on, because I haven't seen anything on this.
So you guys can hear me, right?
We can hear you.
All right. So basically, Gilly got upset because Cam Newton didn't include Jalen Hurts as one of his top quarterbacks. And they've been going back and forth about, his stats and what Cam Newton was and how he didn't win a championship and all that stuff like that. And Cam Newton also brought up the fact that Gilly the Kid never had a top 100 hit on the billboards. And it got back. It was to the point where it got disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Because both of these guys in their proper genres are great, or at least better than above. They're above average. I would say that for as far as Gilly goes, he was above average as far as a writer and as a artist. You know, but let's be honest. The disrespect that Gilly went out and called out Cam and saying they never had a Super Bowl and all this stuff. I can't stand that argument. I can't stand that argument. So I wasn't the only one that felt that way because um, you know, Johnny Manziel went out the window and jumped out the window and mentioned it. He said, "Yo, enough of that. Enough of the disrespect." He's like, "Matter of fact, when I see you, I'm gonna smack you." So it got really disrespectful. I don't know if Gilly responded, but yeah, it wasn't a good look. It wasn't a good look at all because
Illy did respond to Johnny Manziel. I didn't see the video, but I did see that he responded. I just didn't have time to watch it at the time.
oh, okay. Yeah, so it's getting pretty messy. I just know that it can turn left if people don't really do damage control, but let's be real, man. It started with the whole situation with Gilly calling out Cam and just constantly disrespecting him. He got up there and was like, "Oh, thank you, Jalen, for bringing the championship to us. Thank you, Nick Sirianni, for bringing the champion to us. Something Cam can never do." Like it's corny, but that's my take on it. I think it's really corny, and I just hope that it don't go too far.
I think it's corny as fuck. And I actually like $1 million worth of game. I fuck with Gilly them podcasts a little
Yeah,
bit.
me too.
He a silly motherfucker. But you can tell he one of them irritating motherfuckers that if you going back and forth with him, he gonna try to talk over you and talk loud and,
Yep.
and cut you off and never give you a chance to get a word in so he can have the upper hand until you end up just smacking the dog shit out of him. Now y'all going to blows because he done female your anger up and shit. I see that about him. He got a lot of female bitch tendencies about him, and I
Yeah.
don't like that in a man to speak on another man in that way. And it's irritating as fuck because we in this culture now where no matter what you say and how you say it and how you mean it when you say it and able to break it down how you mean it when you say it, people still gonna take it for what they want to take it for and make it what they want to make it. It's ridiculous. I 100% understood everything Cam Newton was saying. Now, do I disagree with him not having Jalen Hurts in the top? I do disagree. I think Jalen Hurts at the very least is a top 10 quarterback, two Super Bowl appearances, one
Yeah.
Super Bowl championship, balled out in both Super Bowls, has been carrying his team, doing what's asked of him and doing what's needed of him when it comes to what needs to be done in order for them to be successful in Philadelphia. But at the same time, there is a difference between game managers and game changers. And Cam Newton is a game changer. Reason
Yep.
why, yeah, he only completed about 50 something percent of his passes career wise, but this man single handedly, as a freak of nature weapon, took a team and put it on his back with no receivers and just a running game in him and a tight end and took him to a 14-2 record and went to the fucking playoffs and went to the motherfucking Super Bowl. Now they lost, but they went to the Super Bowl. He carried this team single handedly to the Super Bowl. So that is the definition of a game changer. And I do understand what he means when he's saying that we don't look at Jalen Hurts in that light. You know what I'm saying? It's not that he's not good. Just because you're not somebody else or don't have the same skill set as someone else and we able to point that out and see it does not mean that you're not still good and good at what you do. So we
Right.
we need to get out of this mindset of only taking things for what we want to take them for and making them what we want to make them and trying to make them out to be disrespectful and so on and so forth when people don't mean it in that light. They're just spitting facts. And that's what I felt like he was doing. He was spitting facts, man. Jalen Hurts a damn good quarterback. He's not top five.
No.
He's top 10.
And that's not disrespectful either.
It's not disrespectful.
I
The
feel like
numbers show it.
that's definitely justified. Like, like he's definitely one of those quarterbacks that I consider a game manager.
Yeah.
And honestly, like I said, I don't like the approach that Gilly's taking because he's not an athlete, first off. He's a fan. He's a fan, just like all of us. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that he's throwing stones at Cam is like, it's ridiculous. Because come on, Cam was the MVP. Cam brought his team to the Super Bowl. Like he's a legend. And at
This
the end
is
of the
what I would
day,
ask. Go,
yeah.
my bad. Go ahead.
No, it's all good.
This is what I would ask you, Raj.
Yeah.
If you put Jalen Hurts on that 2015 Panthers team as the quarterback, do they go to the Super Bowl? Can he carry them to the Super Bowl the way Cam did?
No.
And this is with me thinking that I think Jalen Hurts is a little more talented than Cam Newton. Just my personal opinion. I think he's more talented, and I think he's a better thrower of the football at this point in his career. But if I swap him out for Cam Newton in 2015, that team doesn't even sniff the playoffs, let alone go to a Super Bowl. And that's the difference between a game manager and a game changer.
Yep. I agree 1,000%. And on top of that, like there was a lot that Cam sacrificed, just to win games. Like he sacrificed his body just to win games. And I'm not saying that Jalen Hurts never do that, but there's a lot of stuff that Cam did that Jalen can't do. And he didn't have the talent. He didn't have the people around him that got him there. I mean, damn, his lead wide receiver was like 5'10". You know what I'm saying? Like Smith was like probably I think the smallest wide receiver in the game at that time.
Remember, Steve Smith wasn't even there anymore. Which didn't they trade him? One of my boys, we was having this discussion, and he was bringing up to me that they traded Steve Smith during the Cam Newton's rookie year of training camp. But no, they cut him. And that's how he ended up going to Baltimore.
Okay.
I thought they played together personally.
I could have sworn they
did play a couple games together, whatever. But according to my homeboy, he like, no, they cut him and he went to Baltimore.
What was that 2000? What year was that?
That had to be 2000. What 10?
2010.
9, 10.
I think
Mike,
it was.
You on mute? I can't hear you. You on mute.
I don't even know how I got muted. I'm gonna say this. This whole debate, Cam Newton and Jalen Hurts, this whole debate is one person's fault. You know whose fault it is?
Whose?
Saquon Barkley. and just hear me out. No matter how you twist or turn this narrative, I'm not taking away Jalen Hurts' Super Bowl. I can't do that. But without Saquon Barkley, the Eagles don't win the Super Bowl this past season. They don't. And as for the debate itself, I'm starting to remember some of the things that I was seeing. Gilly, I can't take him seriously first because of the big ass hats he wears. I just
exactly.
Can't. I
don't
can't take him seriously because of those big ass hats he wears. Like, that's first of all. And Cam, to me, this is my opinion. He takes things too personal to be a sports commentator.
I don't know if I can agree with that, Mike.
Yeah, because I'm about to say it wasn't even like that. He was actually just having the discussion on his show, 4th and 1.
Yeah, he was just going back and forth, and he was comparing. That's it.
I'm not maybe in this instance, but there's some other times where he'll be talking, and like they were having like on First Take, there was a point he was on there for a little while, and they were talking about best running quarterbacks, and he wasn't mentioned in that particular conversation at that time. And when he was speaking, he was upset. Like he feels like he should be. He feels like where he ranks, it's not high enough. Not saying that he's ranked wrong or not mentioned enough or what have you. Well, I just sometimes think he takes things too personal. In this instance, maybe not. But Cam Newton, if he would have won that Super Bowl, would he have been a top 10 quarterback, you think? At least at his time, like when he was playing? Maybe not all time, but at least in his time. Do you think he would have been
not all the time? Yeah. I could give you top 10 at that time when he was playing because he was coming off of it. MVP when he went to the Super Bowl. He was just a freak of nature. That Cam Newton is in a realm of his own. He's a freak. Yeah. It's we've never seen anything like him. Cam Newton, if he could throw the ball better, he would have been a version of Dante Culpepper. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That like just a big ass dude with a strong arm, but that could run as well. But me personally, when I think of Cam Newton, I don't think of him as a running quarterback. I think of him as a freak. He wasn't like, he was mobile, but he wasn't like no Michael Vick or no Randall Cunningham or Jalen Hurts and some of these other Robert Griffin. Like that wasn't Cam. Cam was a big ass short yardage quarterback that could sometimes muscle his way through the line and make a big run, but we weren't looking at him saying like, oh, he just this fast ass freak. Like I didn't look at him in that way. I looked at him as a big bruising ass quarterback that linebackers and linemen and cornerbacks and defenses were afraid to go one-on-one with.
Yep, I agree. And the thing is, he was never known for his speed, but he's known for his strength. Like he's 6'5", I think like 240. I don't know what he was at that time. But think about it. Most quarterbacks are not that big. I can't think of a quarterback that big, like as tall and as strong as he is.
Dante Culpepper. That's the only one I can really, maybe a Steve McNair, some of them.
But yeah, he was like, it's almost like I want to say it's almost like having somebody that can do everything on the field. Like that's the way I view Cam. He was somebody that can pretty much offensively do everything. Yeah. So, and by the way, just to clarify, his wide receivers was Ted Ginn Jr. and what's his name? I just had his name. But he had two wide receivers that were like 5'11", which is still small for wide receivers when he went to the Super Bowl. 50, and they went 15-1, excuse me.
Okay, so I was right the first time. I said 15 and I changed it to 14. But it was 15.
15-1. Corey Brown and Ted Ginn Jr., both 5'11", 180.
Greg Olsen. Bobby Anderson wasn't on that team? I thought Bobby Anderson was on that team.
No.
I know Greg Olsen was his number one, though.
Yeah, Greg Olsen is tight end.
And that just goes to show you right there, when your tight end is your number one.
Exactly.
If that nigga ain't Travis Kelce in his prime or Shannon Sharp in his prime or Antonio Gates or some shit like that,
he definitely is.
Then your offense you ain't throwing to the shit, really.
Yeah, you ain't got nobody outside of that.
Yeah, tight end regularly ain't supposed to be your number one.
Nope.
Unless they just that damn good.
Kelce, Gates, Gronk,
Shout out to my boy Gates too, just winning the Hall of Fame this past Sunday, or this past weekend actually. You know what I'm saying? Detroit native, west side of Detroit. What up,
Yeah.
though?
Absolutely.
First
So
undrafted, first undrafted player to go in the Hall of Fame, and first undrafted player to go in the Hall of Fame that never played a lick of college football.
it's dope. That is dope. So the last topic we're gonna hit. Micah Parsons requesting a trade.
He ain't going nowhere.
I
His
agree.
master said he can't go nowhere.
Let's fit it all into one, Mike. Let's fit it all into one and get it out the way. Terry McLaurin as well requested a trade
Didn't we talk
from
about
the
that last week?
Yeah.
Oh
did
yeah.
We talked about it last week.
Oh yeah.
No, we didn't come on last week.
No, we were on last week.
Yeah, we was on last week.
But you know what it was? I think we
What
talked
is-
about it before you came on. But you came on later than we had started. We can touch on it again. What were you gonna say about McLaurin? Yeah, we definitely
No,
did.
I was just,
Yeah, you weren't on the show yet. Yeah, it was before you got on. We had discussed it.
So last week wasn't the emergency then. I'm tripping.
Nah, that was 2 weeks ago.
Last week before last.
Man.
Well, it's all right. We can do it. It's all right because you weren't here. We can touch on it again.
We ain't got to. We ain't got to. It ain't really much on it. It ain't much on it. I didn't know we had covered that. That's crazy.
Yeah, no. You know, but I did read that. I did read that they were saying that he probably isn't going anywhere. I mean, we'll see how that unfolds because, I mean, I don't know if he's going to get the money he's looking for elsewhere, but they definitely need him because if they're trying to win, like from what I read, they're trying to win while Daniels is on his rookie contract because they already know just from year one, like, they're gonna have to pay him in a few years, so they're trying to win.
Projecting that he could possibly get a $500 million contract.
Possible.
And you know, and if you want to stay true to that, you're gonna need McLaurin. Without him, like you know, this guy is 1,000 yards a season guy. Doesn't matter who's throwing him the ball. Like you know, I think his lowest was 919. Me and Raj discussed last week.
Yeah.
So he's good for 1,000 a season. That's insane. You have to you have to pay him. If you're looking to make Deebo Samuel your top option, that's not very wise because he's proven that he's not able to stay healthy. And being that he cannot stay healthy, he's not a reliable top option.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you didn't go out and get Kyle Pitts. That was a rumor. You know. So now you're building this piece by piece. I mean, did they do anything at running back? They draft someone?
I think they stand pat. You know, they still got old boy that came over from the Colts.
They still got Eckler, right?
Yeah.
You know,
also,
so
and another the Robinson. What's they got
Brian Robinson, right?
Brian Robinson. Yeah. So I think they stand pat, I believe.
Yeah, they gotta know.
To run it back and see.
They gotta know.
But
they just need to lock in McLaurin.
Absolutely. But in terms of Micah Parsons, I believe he's a great player. He deserves to be paid, but like, come on, bro. He knows how Jerry Jones does business. We've seen it with Dak multiple times. We've seen it with Elliott. We've seen it with CeeDee Lamb. Even before CeeDee Lamb, Jesus, that other wide receiver. Oh my God, that he did it with him too. It's driving me nuts.
Dez Bryant.
There we go, Des Bryant.
Yeah. He doesn't play his players. He pays them when he wants to and gives them what he wants.
Yeah.
One thing about Jerry Jones is that he's stingy with his money.
Exactly. So Micah Parsons, he ain't going nowhere. We know he.
And guess what? And another thing is to add on to that real quick. If he don't show up to training camp, he gets fined.
Here's that training camp. He just not hasn't been practicing. So he's been there.
He ain't trying to lose
you
the
know what?
bag.
We all know, like Mike said, we know how Jerry Jones does business. But just because we know how he does business doesn't mean that everybody has to accept the way that he does business. So
Right.
I'm happy that he put his foot down, and I'll be honest. I hope that he does get traded. I hope that even though I know it's not gonna happen, I know they're not gonna let him out of there. I would like to see him get out of there and go somewhere, you know what I'm saying, where he could, be hopefully treated a little better than just, feeling like he's being treated like a piece of meat and not a human being, you know what I'm saying? Because Jerry likes to play these slave owner games with all of his free agents and shit whenever they come up. We remember he did the same dumb shit with Emmitt Smith coming off of a Super Bowl. They start out 0-2 and then you sign the man. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a fucking old white degenerate devil owner, slave owner ass motherfucker with that slave owner mentality. He's one of those motherfuckers that I won't let the lunatics run the asylum ass mindset white man. And that's just how it is, man. And then I'm cool with Micah requesting a trade and trying to take a stance against it, saying fuck you and fuck this bullshit and fuck the star. Like I'll go elsewhere. And so, both of them need to be paid though. McLaurin then put in 10 years with garbage quarterbacks, giving y'all 1,000-yard seasons every year. And now you finally got the right piece to go along with him. And now you act like you don't want to sign the man and shit, or get a man a new deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's sickening, man. Pay these men. I'll leave it at that. I don't got nothing else on it.
I agree.
Absolutely. So, just so everyone knows who's watching and will watch back, we know that a month from Wednesday is the beginning of the NFL season, which means Labor Day, Monday, September 1st, will be the NFL preview episode. So we know how that goes every year. It's my favorite episode of each year to do. Break down the divisions, break down who we think is going to do what they do, speak on it. And, we will also have Mr. Brandon Carras back into the fold during the football weeks. So we will be a team of 4 for a few months. And, it's going to be another fun-filled season. Him and I arguing about the Bills all season. That's always fun because I just love busting the, Bill fans' chops. They get so upset. So upset. It's almost comical at this point. They get so upset. But we're going to talk about that, so that's coming Monday, September 1st, before the season starts, which is that week, the 4th or whatever it is that week, the 5th. Excuse me. And, that's all I got. You guys got anything to add before we close?
No, that's it. Appreciate everybody listening, tuning in.
Absolutely. Sounds good. And we will be back next Monday, August 11th, and like I always say, be better than you were yesterday. Be prepared tomorrow to be better than you are today. Peace.
Kobe forever. Kobe forever.